So what's going on here is this is a very similar command. Instead of using the port 28:0, we're just using the name. If we do asec dump and -l 28:0, it's got the name digital keyboard, and you run this, and then using a Python with statement, because Python handles everything for us, which is very nice, and extract each line as it comes out on the console. So we interpret each line, and from that we can get the pitch and velocity of the note, and then if it's just the top note, then everything exits. And then if there is not no velocity, i.e. there is a key being pressed, just output the pitch of the note and velocity, or the weight, how loud you're pressing it, basically. So interpret console, let's head over to there. And this is takes in the line which is bytes as opposed to a regular old string. This line which you get from console.readline, it's a byte literal, not really a string. The empty bytes literal here, that's just a quick check to make sure that you are actually receiving data. If I turn my keyboard off, then you should see device is not responding. Put my keyboard back on, and it's run again. There we go. So this is the line, and then we decode it. So we take it from a bytes literal to a regular old string. If we run that, you can see we have literal here, and then it's all decoded, and you get the normal stuff after getting the lowercase and the stripped value of the line. These two lines of code, they separate out the arguments, so 28, 0 and clock, those are sort of two arguments, and then crucially actually the stuff we want to look at is 28 note off, 0 note 91, and note on, 0 note 91, and velocity. We want to filter these out and whack them into args, and this bit takes all double spaces, converts them into a comma space, and that just means you can use a double space or a comma space as a delimiter. And then all these series of double spaces here will get turned into huge numbers of items, so we filter out the empty string between those with this list comprehension. And if we run that again, and everything is now in a much nicer format. Then this bit, this is the really good bit, that filters out the clock and the active sensing, and also that filters out anything like waiting for data and source event and stuff like that, because that doesn't have a device saying this is a keyboard playing a note. So if we have a look at that, and you start to filter out all of the miscellaneous stuff, and you've only got left stuff with notes in being played. And this has note on, and it's the note C6 or note 84, and then it gives you the weight. These two lines here, deleting arguments, they just get rid of the 28 and this 0, which is stuck around. So what we want to do is just get a note, all the information about the note and nothing more. So here we have note on, that it's a C6 or 84, and it's got a weight or a loudness of 63, and then note off, this time we don't get a velocity. Now this bit is just a quick check to make sure that note on is supplied with a velocity, so note on and 1, 2, 3 items, and note off is supplied without a velocity, so 1, 2 items, then equals 2. So if anything fails those checks, then you get a runtime error. Here you get the actual value, note 84, so we just want to remove the first 5 parts of that string, and let's see it converted there. And we've got our MIDI number, 84, we're turning it into a C6. And that's just done using this list here. We're just using naturals and sharps, no flats. It's just easier that way. And also I happen to have a hashtag on my keyboard, or an octothorpe if you will, and I don't have a flat. And that's just converted with a bit of modulo and integer division there, nothing overly extravagant. Is pressed is a boolean saying whether the note's being pressed down. So that's a note down event, that is pressed will be true. Note up event, is pressed will be false. Now the pitch is a string now, because we've taken MIDI to note. So with our pitch and our velocity, what do we do when there's no velocity, when there aren't enough arguments? Well, just supply -1 according to this constant right here. And there you go, that's your pair of pitch and velocity. Let's just comment that one back out. So if we find that there is actually a velocity, i.e. it's not -1, I suppose you could also do greater than 0, either or, it doesn't really matter, then output what note you're playing. And you don't get any unpressing, and then of course you've got the black notes there with the sharps in, and of course it appends the number in MIDI to note, and you get the velocity as well. It's quite hacky, but it does the job. There is a much cleaner version which will make things like tying it to controls, mouse controls, and pressing keys like W, S and D. That will all be much easier in a revision, which will be in this and here. So just to go over a few things briefly, I'm not going to go over the whole project that will be on GitHub. I'll just compare a few important details against the simple script that I showed earlier. And crucial difference is compound note is now a class instead of that pair, the tuple that we see just here. We still have the same is pressed, pitched and velocity. That's just now represented a little bit different. And then going back to this here, this is the same process.std out in the console and stuff like that. Still the bytes literal, but then we have a few extra things like if it's the top key pressed, then that breaks out, and similarly if the keyboard's turned off, that also exits. And then instead of in our loop here we have print, pitch and velocity, we just run a func. So in a test func here we've got if the note has been pressed, which is sort of saying if note equals or not equals no velocity, same thing, then output the note and its velocity. But this opens up the possibility to pass our own functions in, and that's what MIDI_Minecraft.py does. If I just run the test, you can see that does the same stuff as before. Obviously it's just formatted slightly differently because we have the tab here, but now this time we have some Minecraft actions, and here is the code. So you've got things like forwards, backwards, left and right. These are determined in words. This is the Minecraft action, forwards, backwards, left and right. And here is where you set the Minecraft controls. And we determine here that it's like mine, place and pick block. All these words are given, again, Minecraft controls. I use a slightly wacky Minecraft control scheme, so if you do want to have a look at the code yourself, then you may want to change some bits. There are some slightly different things that you have to be aware of. For example, to move the mouse up and down, you can't just press a note and it steps. You'd want to be able to press a note and it smoothly moves up the cursor, and that's what we have here instead of the function. Oops. But other than that, we have the keys here in a dictionary. So this sort of, it aims to fit W, S and D. W, S, A, D. So that means you got S, which is a C, W, which is a C sharp. So that's sort of above and below on the keyboard as it is on the piano. Then A and D, or B and D on the piano, they're left and right of where you have your finger on W and S. So that's meant to be a little bit ergonomic. And these are just bound in the dictionary to the names that you find in this class here. And this class act has the following class unact. So you press W, and the alternative unact of that is to release W. There's a few extra things, like if you press it really hard, then you'll sprint as well. And then you want to release sprint if you did press it hard, but obviously if you're holding down sprint anyway, then you don't want to release sprint in that case. So that's why we have some things there. Anyway, that's the general gist of it. And if I give that a quick run, well, we can see that works. I just forgot the controls. Like this. There we go. There's some things like you can change the sensitivity, and sort of a few quality of life things I've done down here. That's, I just did left click there. And all sorts of jazzy things, and should be able to press W, S and D if I can reach that. Nope, that's not W, S and D. Right at the bottom of the keyboard. There we go. Let's have a look at some Minecraft. No, Copilot, I don't need that. Thank you very much. There we go. This is where the fun stuff begins. Let's slide my keyboard over. There we go. Just increase the volume just to annoy the neighbours even more. Beautiful. That's sensitivity. Yep, that is completely ridiculous. Let's hope that doesn't serve me too badly. I'm using Lunacline on 1.8 because I'm lazy and can't be able to sort out 1.8 on my normal vanilla Minecraft stuff. And it doesn't seem to work on 1.17. I tried 1.17, I tried 1.8. 1.17 is weird also for trying to use a number pad and accessibility things and whatnot. So that's a bit of a pain. The way that the mouse moves is just weird. So I'm sticking with 1.8. But this is fine. Good grief. Don't do that. No, which one's escape? That one. Oh, good grief. Let's hop into some sumo. Oh dear. Sensitivity. Ah! Let's put my music settings, or my sound settings down. Oh, sorry, I cheated and used my mouse there to navigate the menus. I can of course do that all with the piano. I can't type quick enough. This music's getting a bit distracting. Turn my keyboard down. I'm going to blame that on turning my keyboard down. No, there we go. I did actually get some sticky labels to put on my piano so I could tell which buttons I was pressing, but it was there. I felt like I'd be defiling my piano if I did that. You okay, good sir? Bruh! Oh, they use Lunar Client as well. I bet they don't touch grass. Oh, I could have had him. Alright, this is driving me a little bit insane. Let's turn that keyboard sound down. Ah! Good game. I'm bad. I'm so incredibly atrocious. No. C sharp is not my mouse down. Boom! Hell yeah! Oh my word, that's enough of that. What did I do play again? Oh dear. That is enough of high blood pressure for today. Thank you very much.